Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 things you're doing that are turning people off. So I always talk about how being yourself and being authentic are incredibly important, and while that is 100% true, I think it's also important to be self-aware and to take a good look at your behavior and things you might be doing that are really just making you come across in a way that you wouldn't want to come across as. So these are going to be 5 things that no matter who you are, you should not be doing these, and these are not the way you look. These are things that are easy to change. These are things that you're doing. These are character flaws that you 100% need to be working on. So not only do these things turn off women, but they also turn off friends, business partners, people at your job, people that you meet randomly. These are just pretty much things that turn off everyone, and they could be holding you back from getting to where you want to go in life. So I would highly encourage you all, if you notice yourself doing any of these things, to stop doing it. And these are not just things that men do. I think if you're a woman watching this, this is applicable for you as well. I think these are really just things that nobody should be doing. Number 1, we have being cocky. So there's a huge difference between confidence and cockiness. I've talked about it before on my channel, and this is a line that should never, ever, ever be crossed. While being confident should be the ultimate goal, being confident is something that is incredibly attractive to women, to pretty much anyone that you're around. Cockiness should be avoided at all cost. And the reason why this is such a turnoff is because people who are cocky often have that I already know everything attitude. They think there's no room for improvement. They think they're perfect. They're entitled. They have the princess mentality or the prince mentality if you're a guy. Just really feeling like you don't need any room for improvement and you already know everything. And I'm telling you, that is the worst thing you can possibly do. It makes you look unattractive, it makes you unapproachable, and it really just makes you miserable to be around. These are often people that are very braggy about things, and it's one thing to be proud of your accomplishments, but to be constantly bragging about them, using it as a way to get ahead, using it as a pickup tactic, just is really not a good look, and I promise you it's not doing you any favors in the long term. Confident people believe in themselves, they know what they bring to the table, but they also know that there is room for growth, there is room for improvement, and there's always something to learn. And that's the huge difference between being cocky and being confident, is that willingness to learn and grow and listen to other opinions. Believe it or not, it's okay to not know something and to want to learn about it. And actually, I would argue that that is one of the sexiest things in the world, is a guy that is constantly growing, constantly evolving, constantly trying to reach his full potential and learn new things. I think included in this one and the whole being cocky thing are the people that are so into themselves that they lose touch with reality. I'm all for being confident, I'm all for loving yourself and believing in yourself, but there's a huge difference between loving yourself and talking about yourself and bragging about yourself 24/7 and acting like you are a god on the earth. Number 2, we have interrupting. So as a 25-year-old adult, I can't even believe I have to say this, but I've been listening to some podcasts lately, watching some channels where they have guests on and there's multiple people talking, and I couldn't help but notice that there's a lot of interrupting going on. And not only does it make you come across as a hothead, it just makes you look stupid. For the love of God, keep your mouth shut until it's your turn to talk. You can get your point across without interrupting someone, I promise. When you're the person who just constantly keeps interrupting people and can't let anyone get a word in, you just look immature, and you look like you're just constantly thinking about what you're gonna say next. You're getting defensive, you're a hothead, you're blowing up easily, and it's just really gonna make you look a way that is so incredibly unattractive. The best thing you can do is just sit and listen until it's your turn, and you're gonna look so much better. And of course, this is something that can easily be fixed. It's just something that we need to be a little bit more mindful of. So if you notice yourself doing this, I would highly recommend taking a step back and being like, okay, I need to actually listen to what the other person is saying before I start speaking. Because I think a lot of times as humans, as people who are interacting all the time, we're not even listening to what someone is saying. We're just constantly thinking in our head of what we're going to say or respond back, especially if it's in like a heated situation where things are getting a little bit escalated. I think people have a really hard time with this, but you'd be surprised how much you can actually learn and evolve just by listening. It's something that so many people neglect and don't do nowadays. And if you're someone that does listen, you stand out tremendously. You want to be able to look back at the conversation you had and be like, wow, even though we had different opinions, I was still able to keep it calm, keep it cool as a cucumber, and keep it really classy. I think it's important to be able to look back and be like, okay, I handled that really well, and you're not going to be able to do that if you're constantly the one that's interrupting. Number 3, we have being judgy or being jealous. I think these kind of both go hand in hand a little bit here, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, I know I mentioned it in a past video that I did. I think it was in my confidence video if you haven't seen that one, because it is such a huge turn off. I cannot tell you how many conversations I've been in where someone, all they do is talk negatively about people, constantly put other people down instead of worrying about what they're doing, and it just makes you come across very insecure, like you have a ton of things that you need to work on, and it's not doing you any favors. These are the people that say things like, well, she only looks like that because she gets her lips done, or he only looks like that because he's on steroids, or he's only dating that girl because he has money. Okay, so what if those things are true? It does not affect you whether those things are true or whether they're not. All it's doing is allowing you to justify the excuses that you're making for yourself in your head so that you don't feel as bad about not achieving something. And you can say what you want, it's the truth. You're only holding yourself back by diminishing other people's success, other people's beauty, other people's wealth. It's not doing you any favors. You do not have to dim someone else's light in order for yourself to shine. I promise there is enough money, success, beauty to go around for everyone, and you don't need to be constantly competing for it. You should be the person who lifts other people up and encourages them rather than the person who just sits in the corner and is jealous about everything and can't be happy for anyone. That person is a miserable person to be around, and I know plenty of people like that, and I don't like to be around them for that reason. You will be so much happier, you'll feel so much better, you'll come across much more positive to the people around you if you can be a person who encourages people and lifts people up instead of the person that's constantly gossiping, being judgy, being jealous, talking bad about people, and just really trying to bring other people down. And that leads me into my next one, which is insecurity. And I think point 3 and then this one also go together. Normally people who are jealous and judgy are often insecure. Actually, I would say that insecurity is the root of the evil there and is the reason for the judgy and jealous behavior. Insecurity will absolutely run your life if you let it and ruin it as well. So if you're someone who experiences insecurity, we all have it. There's tons of reasons in the world today to feel insecure, whether it's scrolling through Instagram and constantly comparing your life to someone's curated Instagram feed or whatever it is. There are so many reasons to feel insecure. Like I've said before, you really have to understand why you're feeling that way and make strides to fixing whatever it is you're feeling insecure about. So if you're insecure about your weight, for example, but you're not working out, the first step you could take is going for a run or going to the gym or just doing something to make yourself feel a lot better. If you put the work into the things that you're insecure about, you will feel a lot better. And I know that not all of our insecurities can be fixed as easy as going for a run or going to the gym. I think sometimes they're a lot more deep-rooted than that. But you have to actively make strides to feeling better about it, accepting it, trying not to compare yourself. I did a whole video on feeling more confident that if you're someone that is struggling with insecurity, I would highly recommend you watch. But basically, all I'm trying to say is that being insecure will run your entire life. It will flood its way into every aspect of your life if you let it and you don't get a grip on it. So the best advice I can give is to be able to pinpoint why things make you feel insecure, when they make you feel insecure, and actively try to reverse that. This goes further than just your interactions with other people and how big of a turnoff it is. Think of how horrible it is for you to feel insecure about something and how it makes you doubt yourself and not believe in yourself and just say really mean things to yourself. You want to try to turn those negative thoughts into positive thoughts. I would hate for you to be the only person standing in your way because of your insecurities. So believe in yourself, talk to yourself with grace, have a little kindness with yourself, and understand that everyone has insecurities, but it's important to understand why you're feeling that way and do your best to resolve it. So in regards to how this is a turnoff to other people, I think sometimes you can easily tell when someone is insecure from simple things such as eye contact, your body language, the way you're speaking. I think there are just some little things that can really make you come across as insecure. So I would recommend working on those if you're someone that has to interact with people a lot. These are things that easily stand out if you are insecure. So stand up straight, make eye contact with the person you're speaking to, get your hands out of your pockets, and make a good first impression. I think physical insecurities are obviously the most telling just from meeting someone right off the bat, but I know insecurity goes a lot deeper than that, and it's something that we all have to actively work on. And number 5, we have pessimism. So this one's been in a couple of videos of mine, and I think it's such a huge deal that not enough people realize. If you are someone who is positive, you're someone who tries to see the best in situations, you are the guy that everyone wants to be around because you make people feel good. You're empathetic, you can lift people up, like I mentioned before how attractive that is. But if you're pessimistic all the time, constantly in a little woe is me pity party, you're not very enjoyable to be around. But even more than that, you are probably holding yourself back even more than you realize just from your pessimistic, negative thoughts about everything. Your mindset and the way that you view things often become your reality, so it's important to be able to look at a situation that maybe didn't necessarily go your way, but to be able to see the positives in it and make the best of it. We can't control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to a situation and how we respond to something, so choose wisely. It's honestly just a real bummer to talk to someone or have a conversation with someone that is just constantly spewing negative things at you when you're trying to be positive and have a good day, and someone just comes and stamps all over your parade. It's a big bummer. So pessimistic people are not great to be around. You know, life is not always sunshine and rainbows, and you don't have to be Little Miss Perfect 24/7, but understand that if you fall down, you gotta get back up, you gotta keep moving, and you don't wanna sit down and throw yourself a little pity party and stay there. Alright guys, that is all I have for today. If you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. Also be sure to follow me on Instagram at COURTNEYCRISTINERYAN. I love connecting with all of you guys on there as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.